Okay, so I think, let's see, that might be better. So, hi again. Um, another day, another conversation with JTZ. I always have an opinion, man, and I think lately, like, I just had to get to a point of expressing, I guess, some things. I just felt the need to do so. So, um, I don't know. Um, well, I do know I could fix this. That might be, that might look a little bit better, maybe. But, not really. All right. So, where to start, man? I guess starting with art is always good. It's a good, like, warm up for me before, like, I start popping. Because honestly, I kind of just feel like popping off. I guess that's where I'm going to go to now, because that's where I'm going in my mind. And I think it'll just be, like, on the back burner until I get there. But lately, cats are just tripping. I think, I don't know if it's this full moon situation that's happening. Let me get closer. So I got some things to say. Um, I don't know if it's this full moon. I don't know if it. I think it's the sign of the times, man. Like I think that the decade is ending, and stuff is just getting cleaned out. Cause, or maybe it was always in the process of cleaning out, but now that we're about to like start over, like how intense the times are, is really becoming apparent. And a big example of it is just there's a lot of like I've noticed firsthand a lot of people who play dumb. Like in their minds and their feelings and how they are, it's one thing. But like the way they act and the way they treat people is like another thing. And it's like a circus that they expect people to be, to participate in. And I think that's just so stupid, like it just gets really redundant. Like you see it in politics now. Like cats are just lying like all over the place, and it's like I knew that they were lying, but there's a lot of stuff that's like the divisiveness, like of trying to divide people. That's one thing, but like just all out lies and things, it's it's like they're making an embarrassment of themselves, and there's this expectation that you have to like follow along and participate, and I'm not with it. Like I caught myself a few times like going into this space of like reacting to how people are, whether it's good or bad, like whether I share the same opinion or not. And I really had to like be checked, and over and over, like, and just realize that this isn't my problem. This is their problem. And it seems like it's like a political thing. And this is kind of like what's happening in society. This isn't just in politics, this isn't people's like souls. You have a lot of people who think that they're getting away with something. And I think a lot of cats have had in their mind, like, I have time to like make right on this. Like they know that they're doing wrong to people. They know that they have like all kinds of debts to pay to people, monetary, spiritual, things that they've done to them, but they think that they have time. And you combine that with these senses of like empowerment, um like this false sense of empowerment, like they put themselves on pedestals, and you mix that with like a narcissism, like they can't really ever be wrong. They kind of know that they're wrong, but since they think that they have time, like it's easily forgotten. It's like easily ignored by them. And you kind of like mix that with like I think like this old school um mentality of kind of like being basically on someone's deathbed and like thinking that they're gonna be able to just say like a quick I'm sorry and have like a lifetime full of uncool things that they've done to people, whether it's in their thoughts, judgment, spiritual attacks, physical attacks, slander on people's character, hypocrisy. They think they could just take a lifetime of all those things and just seal it up with like a quick I'm sorry. And it's just not the case. Like, I really know in my soul that people are having to start paying for their crimes now. And what I mean by crimes is like their spiritual crimes, you know? Because there's a lot of cats out there that put a lot of impressions on people. And it's just not cool. Like, an example of that is like in Hollywood, you get a lot of examples that are like pressed into the media because it uses kind of like the weakness of humans, like words and sight. Like, those are probably like some of our favorites, but they're really the ones that could be like most deceiving when it comes to like the truth. And you see it pressed into people's minds with people who you're being told are beautiful. You're being told that this is the way that things should be, and this is the truth about society. And when you really know the truth, you see how like blatant the lies are. And it's not just in Hollywood. That's just an example of it because it's kind of like, public and broad spectrum and like constantly like readily available. Like if you have TV or something, especially magazines, like any of the media, like there's this consensus that's like against what like the real truth is. And you have a lot of cats that are stealing cultural property. Like, you just have a lot of people who are basically stealing spiritual practices from people. Like, there's this new commercial, and this person who's an actor, and when he was popular back in the day, he was quoted as being like part native, right? And now he has a commercial. It's Johnny Depp, right? And now he has a commercial where he's making kind of like a burial site, like in the middle of the desert. He's like burying some sort of like necklace and these other things, and there's like a native like tone, and then the name of the fragrance for men that he's selling is called Sauvage, and it's just a disgrace. And I don't know whether they're setting him up or what, but that is like anti, because as being a person who is of native descent, I would not be allowing some company to make a video of me with a name with most, from people on the outside, calling them pretty much a savage. Like, on the inside, it's like, Negro, nigga, all that kind of stuff. Like, if you're pretty much black, which I am also, you can say stuff. You can even go, and I won't say it here because, I don't know, it's just stupid, but I guess being videotaped, it could be taken out of context, and I don't trust that. But, like, I could go ER, some cats would get put in the ER for saying stuff like that. It's the same thing with, like, savage. Like, you can call me a savage all day. Like, I take it as a compliment. But if some other person calls me a savage, especially a white person, it's not going to sit well. And no offense to like white people, but like most people have been through some kind of like struggle, right? And I think when it comes to white people, since white people went back on their words to the native people so many times when it came to like political things, and then like destroying like the families of natives, like you just can't, and for him to be doing that is just crazy. But I mean, that's cool. Like, I don't take like offense. I just look at it like, dude, like you're setting yourself up. I don't know how long you think you're gonna get away with stuff like that. I'm not coming for you because I don't have a monkey in that show. But you can't hide from, the spirit world, like, and all of these little like, spiritual things that they think that they're doing in Hollywood, like in other places, a lot of people doing stuff. It all boils down to like witchcraft. And I'm like, okay, if you're gonna be on some witchcrafty stuff, that's your choice, right? That's their choice. But like at the end of it all, right? And I'm getting a good stretch in here because I'm getting deep in my mind. Like, if you're doing some spiritual witchcrafty shit over here, who do you think is giving you like that power? Like, it baffles me. It blows my mind. Like, you think you're gonna get to the end of the road and have Satan just come up to you and shake your hand and be like, good work, and then you're just like done? Like, then they'll be like, I don't believe in God. I don't, these people, I hope this doesn't get taken out of context. No one's robbing my, video, and the truth is the truth. But like, you have cats that are like, I don't believe in God, but they do witchcrafty stuff. And then when they're like about to sign out, then it's all of a sudden like, praise Jesus Christ, which they should have been doing all along. But when you're doing these satanic covenants and contracts, like, who, like, who do you think that you're signing up for these things with? Like, like in Congress, I hear people talking about prayer. I hear the president talking about prayer. And I'm like, brother, who are you praying to? And you have cats that have a loose tongue and they call themselves Christians. And I'm like, dude, I don't even know what you are saying right now. But, and what I mean is like, you have some cats that are just like intentionally fucking with people, intentionally like destroying their neighborhoods, destroying families. And this stuff that they're doing at the border, that's just some shit that they've been doing this whole time. And by them, I mean cats that basically white people. And I'm not anti-white, but like that separate people's families. You can look in the Willie Lynch letters, how you control your slaves, you break up the family. They were doing it to the slaves, and they're trying to do it now at the border by taking kids away from their families because it fucks them up, But what's coming next is that they're going to be fucked up because what it is that now not everyone who's rich is like out for the downfall. There's some legitimately rich people who are just cool, That's not what I'm talking about, man. Like, what I'm talking about is you have some cats, and I'll use like Trump and his family as like an example, or other people like him. You have these people, they're easiest because they're like on the target right now, like not on the good target, like they're like, they think, and other people who think like them, they think that they are like winning, They think that they're wealthy and powerful and successful, and they think like pretty much they're winning in life, but really it's a setup. Like, there are some cats that came into this life with an opportunity that they needed to take to do right, but repeatedly they did not do the right thing. And what happened is that they further went down the path of like destruction. It's like a lot of cats that you see that are like real popular and like wealthy, and it seems like they're winning. Like, that is the spirit world, like, setting them up, Like, you're going to be in this position where you think that basically you can do no wrong, and that you could do whatever and it's never going to catch up to you, and you're still going to get like political power, monetary gain from it. And you can keep on stepping on people, and even people will glamorize you even more. That feeling that they get of like superiority is like a false sense of like what reality is. The reality is that all those toes that they stepped on, all those people that they squashed, people who lost their lives, people who lost their livelihoods, people whose characters were slandered, people who basically were made to have a hard time at, their dispense, or they were made to have gain at the dispense of people who were having a hard time. Those cats that were in those positions of never making the right choice, all that's going to catch up to them. They're not going to get to their deathbed and just be like, time to just sign off. I had a good life, and my bank account's fat, my properties are cool, my kids are going to be taken care of, like, game over, I won. And you get like the victory music and like, all the graphics on the screen, when you win a video game and the credits roll and it's just all good. Like, that's not going to be the case for them. And how do I know? Like, I just know. Like, trust me. Like, I have experience with these things, like, I get into my meditation and like, sometimes you just see like truths. And I think you can kind of like get into like the truth, especially when you see their people starting to die. Like, and I'm talking about any shady people. Like, I know I've mentioned white people a couple times and I try to stay away from that. But like this stealing of like black culture, and you see it like, I don't know if it's a Jewish thing, I don't know if it's a white thing, but like the people who basically control the media, like there's this thing, and it's been happening since slavery and probably before. But cats have been stealing ideas from like native people, black people forever and passing it off like, oh yeah, we did this, let's go dip back into the black community and see what else that we can dig on out and use it for ourselves. But they don't have any black friends. You know what I'm saying? They don't know anything about black music. Ultimately, in their hearts, they're probably calling them niggers and shit, hating black people, you know? But then they want to just go ahead and take their culture, and make some money off of it, capitalize, and it's just like, dude, just stop. If you hate somebody in your heart, don't be listening to their music. Don't be trying to get them to act in your shit. Don't be trying to get them to, act black in your commercials or do something that's real cool in Spanish, like, just stay away. But when you get to that point, you see what cats are really about, and some cats have no flavor, no soul. And they want the soul. They want the spirituality. They want the rhythm. They want the essence, the cool shit, They want to eat tacos and like, I don't know. But they get to this point where they're just robbing. That's why you see girls dressed as native girl people at Halloween and shit, like in blackface. It's just stupidity. And all of that shit is what I'm talking about. This blatant stupidity. But all those cats that are out there robbing, I have a feeling that the spirit world is coming for them too. Like, you just can't capitalize off of people when you hate them. Just stay out. Just stay away. But no, you can't stay away. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, I don't start tripping too much. But what's happening now is that there's so much, what do you call it? Internet, there's so much like immediate access that you're seeing stupidity in real time. It's not like this band that hung around like the Temptations or someone with Motown, and then all of a sudden they develop this new sound, and it's just like, oh, battery's running low. Probably better off. Can't get too crunk, but like, it's like what you're seeing now, what you really see is like the slang. You're starting to see like news anchors, and you're starting to see like the president use like slang, like black slang, Chicano slang, like native slang, like everybody basically else, you know. And I'm not saying that cats haven't had like developments, but like what you see is just like nabbing what other people do and how they act without like basically like being appreciative. It's one thing to want to be like a part of a culture and really appreciate it, and you're like, dude, I'm so down, like that's so cool, like I'm totally with it, I'm one of those people, you know. I'm totally like, let me be in the cool kids crowd, you know, let me let me in, like I'm that one, you know. But what you have a lot of times is cats that are straight robbing, and that's been happening for like a long time. So along with like the lies, another thing is the playing dumb. You have a lot of cats that are playing dumb about a lot of stuff, you know, and they try to paint it like lie until the end, lie until the end. And it's just like that's your choice, you know, but don't expect me to like play along with that rodeo. And sometimes, you know, you catch yourself really seeing like how they could be believed by somebody. But you get to this, what I have to do is get to this like point of a conclusion and really realize like, nah, the conclusion has already been come to, and this person has been a liar, without a shadow of a doubt, and they've done nothing to try to rectify it. When someone's reached that point, you have to like, you know, accept them for who they are and not give them any more excuses. And I think that's the point where we're getting to with like a lot of people, you know. They've been playing games and hiding their racism, hiding their ignorance, hiding their whatever. And a lot of times cats are just like real jealous and insecure, and it makes them act stupid. They've been hiding it and playing it off, and they make everyone else feel like they're in the wrong. This also happens with people who have like inferiority complexes. They start trying to trash you or whatever. But if you, like when I start trashing somebody, that means that I'm insecure about something. So that's like a formula that I've, you know, really tried to hold on to and at least apply. Sometimes I'm hating on somebody because they're a dumbass bitch, and I could see it from a mile away, especially on TV or somewhere in life. I'll just meet somebody and their soul will rub me the wrong way. And I have to kind of like, sometimes I'll ask myself, like, am I hating on them because I'm insecure? You know, do I think that, you know, and I have to check myself. Sometimes it's because I really think someone's like, you know, beautiful or talented, or like I feel like, you know, threatened, and I gotta check myself. But other times it's because I know in my soul that this person's a dumbass, bitch ass asshole, and I'm like, nope, cannot do it. No offense to anyone, but my soul is like tweaking over here. My soul is like, the radar is like going off, like asshole alert, you know? And so, but a lot of times cats really don't think you're an asshole. A lot of times they're obsessed with you. I've noticed this online. I have a lot of cats that are like lurking and in my life. They want to know what's going on. What's up with JT? But you don't see them coming around. You see them kind of like lurking and hovering. And there's a kind of lurking that's cool, like a constructive lurking. But you have some cats that are like, you know, pulling one of these like every fucking day, you know. They want to see what you're doing. They want to see what you're studying. They want to see what you're working on. And it's just like, dude, but they'll trash you at the same time. And it's just like, dude, get the fuck on. Like you, like that dumb shit, that shit is going to squash these people because the bridge is over. It's completely done. Like, it's time for that. It's time for all that nonsense to stop, because I'm done with it, man. Like, I'm done with cats playing dumb. If you want to be cool, be cool. If you want to know what's up and be cool, then be cool. But if you're going to sit around and trash somebody and talk about them behind their back, and then when you go into their face and be like, yo, it's not the fucking truth, and they're going to be like, oh, I didn't know, you know, bitch, then shut the fuck up. Don't say anything if you don't know. But I'm not going to say that anymore. See, that's kind of, I wouldn't really go that far. Kind of be like, well, if you want to know, you just have to ask me, like, and I'll tell you. And nah, I'm not saying anything anymore. They want to lie, that's their choice. But the lies, the debt, it's time for the debt of the lies and the debt of the tomfoolery to be paid. And there's no more like explaining to these people like what the truth is, because my conclusion is that these people don't deserve the truth. They can just wallow in their lies and let all their little attacks just be used on one another and leave us good guys out of it. Won't say I'm perfect, but I definitely don't try to trash people behind their backs. I definitely don't try to take shit from people. I definitely don't try to be jealous of something. Like I'll get my little, times of being like, I wish I had something like that, but it doesn't mean I don't want that other person to have it, or like I have my moments of feeling like unsuccessful or something like that, but that's not going to affect how I treat somebody else. You know what I'm saying? If anything, I go inward and I just get moody and I have to go to sleep or eat something, but like I'm not out here like spiritually, mentally attacking people, like thinking bad thoughts and like shooting them in the direction of somebody. You can feel that junk, that junk is over. I really want all that to just redirect it straight to the person and take them straight closer to their ultimate destiny even faster. Because trying to explain to people, like my soul is a type that it's like I want to try to like fix it, like maybe explanation, maybe something will point somebody in the direction of them making the choice, just be cool. But a lot of cats don't want to take that choice. They like are really like adamant about like what they want to do. They really think that their way is the right way, and it's so fucked up. And they really know in their hearts that it's not the right way. They believe themselves. It's this weird combination, and it's not that they're mentally ill, because they function just fine in society. You could see them switching on and off, like if they gotta be this way over here, if they gotta be this way, you never see them like losing control. Like you'll see them losing control, but it's like it's not that their mind is like gone. It's not like a mental illness where like they just have this reflex to be an asshole. Like they're making a decision, a conscious decision to be assholes and to be dumb and to play stupid and not admit fault. All of that junk is done. Like that's some baby stuff. I'm not into dealing with some big ass adult babies. Like So, but on a lighter note, with art, that's going pretty well. We won't talk about school yet, because to summarize that, it's just work, and then on the other hand, like there's some good stuff, and I'm getting to know my iPad a little bit better, and that's been very fulfilling. It has the potential of feeling very much like I'm painting, which is very satisfying, because I'm thinking about like when I do have the opportunity to, I'm painting now in gouache for school, but I'm talking about like when I'm painting in oil, when I'm painting stuff like of my own mind, not like school stuff, but right now I have the opportunity to kind of practice and think about things, and I was following a tutorial lately, and it was it's like I was open to learning some new things, and then when I got to this point of like, all right, now I could take things further, or like I've seen like the gist of what this tutorial was about, then I just went off on like my own thing, and I feel like all crunk, like I think I got all fired up. Maybe I should have spoken about art first. I don't know. But I don't know, man. I'm all hype. It takes me some time. It takes me a little bit to like calm down, you know. Um, but yeah, like with the art, like I'm taking my time with it. Like I'm going and I'm realizing like one thing like that I realized like from my mentor is like the time that goes into something. Sometimes it takes me a little bit for it to like sink in, but I was applying like that kind of time to like a painting. Like for one medium, for some mediums, I'm like, yeah. But, and then for like painting, I'm like, yeah. But I haven't been in the position where I'm painting the way that I want to paint. So sometimes I'm kind of like, sometimes I feel like I've been drawing a lot. And with drawing, I'm kind of like, I don't really need to take that much time on this. But then when I learned between my mentor and seeing that and then applying that with what I learned in class, which was like the recommended amount of time for specific drawings, then I was like, you know, I've been kind of like rushing through things. And sometimes I'm a rushy kind of person. Other times I'm like zoned out, you know. But for the most part, I'm kind of like a rushy person. So when it comes to like digital work, I see it as like a faster version of like painting. But now I'm realizing like, you know, through these other things like my mentor class and now with the tutorial, it's like the same thing. And I think what I learned in the tutorial is like the way that you can zoom in to something and really apply like a certain kind of level of detail there. And that's kind of been like tweaking my mind, you know, because I'm like, let me zoom in on this, and I'm like, whoa, there's a lot that can go on in here. And then I realized there's a lot that can go on into this whole thing. Like I could be working on like a 30-foot painting in like a less than, you know, 10 inches. So I'm just gonna stay down here for a little bit. Oh gosh, it feels so good though, just to be like nested. I know I gotta go in a second. My phone is like, I tried to get a little bit of juice. Do you remember the Blair Witch Project? And they're like lost. They're like really lost. Like they've been in like the forest for a few days. And this is before Blonde Homie got kidnapped. And Josh. And, you know, they were taking a break. And he's like, yeah, when you find somebody, tell him I'm under this vine, the tree with a vine. And there's like a camera angle, like, you know, because, you know, it was filmed. I'm going totally off right now. Like, I love going off because it's like such a good memory. It's like one of my favorite films. But like the camera angle is like, you know, it's all crazy because it's like all like handy cam stuff. But it reminds me of that, like this camera angle. I'm very easily entertained. Oh my gosh. I have totally a different personality when I'm relaxed. Now I can just chill, not be all turned up because of lying ass bitches in the world. That junk gets old. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you just wish they would just get all shipped somewhere and they could just do their stupid shit to each other and let people, like, just be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it, but I don't get it. I don't, like, especially with stupid stuff. Like, some cats, a lot of this stuff, at least what I've been noticing, it's like it'll go between being petty and being greedy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess in the media and stuff, you see just the result of like cats getting like power hungry and money hungry. And I like power. I like money. You know, I love it. But like you see some cats that are doing some demonic ass shit and I'm like, dude, like who do you think your employer is? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you just see straight like ritualistic type looking stuff like everywhere, and you have cats at the same time like playing dumb about what that whole formula looks like. You know, like you think that when you're gonna, because you have to take it to death sometimes, right? Like, and I'm not trying to be all morbid, but that's, you know, because it kind of looks like people think that if they make it to the end that they've won. And I'm like, dude, you must really not believe in an afterlife. And but if you don't believe in any of that, then you have to know that you're dealing with some sort of force when you're like making these deals and stuff. But it just doesn't seem like that connection is made. I think cats really convince themselves enough that whatever it is doesn't exist, but they're okay with absorbing the fruits of their covenants with uncool satanic forces, because I mean that's really what it boils down to. Like, and it's just madness for them, not madness for us, you know. And I'm not saying you gotta be all perfect and stuff, like it's totally not what I'm saying. I'm not saying you gotta be broke. I'm not saying that you have to be powerless and perfect and walking on eggshells. It's like the opposite of that. Like, you just have some cats that are really on one. So, but on that note, I'm gonna go. And oh, I took a nap, but I'm still tired. Don't know why. Maybe I've been thinking too much. Alright, well, I'll see you the next time. Bye.